अवार्ड जो दिए जाते हैं हम सब जानते हैं, उसके लिए क्या मैं पहली बात है कि वो लोग जो कि बरसरकार होते हैं और एक तरह से उसके जिम्मेदार होते हैं, वो अपने आप को दबा के रखते हैं, पर्दे के पीछे रखते हैं। यही मंजूर आलम साहब ने किया, यही हमारे जहूर मोहम्मद खान साहब ने किया।
Serving the humanity is a very important area. How to serve? You do it according to your capacity and your chart of duties. In chart of duties, the first and foremost thing is your family. Family is first.
20th century, we the minorities of India, good governance in a globalizing world, terrorism and political destabilization, and politics of regional integration in East Africa. Through these publications, Professor Khan has expressed views on governance and social justice. He continues to influence arguments on pluralism, national integration, and education's role in equality. No tribute to Professor Zahoor Khan would be complete without acknowledging his remarkable contribution to the Institute of Objective Studies, a pioneering institution dedicated to the study of socio-economic and political issues affecting India's marginalized communities. Professor Khan has been associated with IOS for over 3.5 decades. He served as its Secretary General for nearly 23 years, guiding its growth into one of India's most respected research organizations. His leadership helped the Institute organize conferences, publish research, and connect scholars, policymakers, and social activists. As patron of the IOS, he mentors scholars and advises on academic programs. A compassionate person lies behind the academic and administrator. Those who know Professor Khan say he is simple and sincere, listening more than speaking and acting more than proclaiming. He enjoys talking political ideas as much as Urdu poetry or classical music. Professor Khan thinks education's ultimate goal is to make good people, not just professionals. Everything he does reflects his belief that knowledge without morality is incomplete. Professor Zahoor Khan's story represents modern Indian education, self-made greatness, moral conviction, and societal growth. He has bridged academia, society, and action through his lengthy involvement with Jamia Millia Islamia, Delhi University, JNU, and the Institute of Objective Studies. His work on minority empowerment, education, and democratic participation continues to guide contemporary discourse. As the Institute of Objective Studies confers upon him the 12th Lifetime Achievement Award, we celebrate not only his academic accomplishments, but his humanity, his quiet strength, his unshakable ethics, and his enduring service to education and social harmony. As we wish him many happy and productive years ahead and pray for his continuing good health, the immortal words of Allama Muhammad Iqbal come alive. दियारे शौक में अपना मकाम पैदा कर, नया जमाना नए सुबह शाम पैदा कर, खुदा अगर दिले फितरत शनाज दे तुझको, सुकूते लाल और गुल से कलाम पैदा कर. The Institute of Objective Studies deems it an honor and privilege to present the 12th IOS Lifetime Achievement Award to him at this ceremony in recognition of his selfless and dedicated service to the nation and humanity on this 5th day of November 2025. Thank you.
Me, especially Professor Afzal Wani, who is a very good friend of mine, and he always invites me at his colleges and other places. And this time I am before a very prominent person and very person. Political science, although I didn't study, but political science was my best choice. And I took it some competitive exemption political science, but never took it as an entire political science. I know only political science. And Professor Khan has given such a nice, and he was a graduate from he was a MPhil from, he has a MPhil from JNU and also PhD from JNU and served in several universities, and he published so many papers that should guide not only us but the upcoming students and coming fraternity, our fraternity, because all of us know that these are the these moments are to be remembered, and just Mr. Khan has taught and taught so many persons must be in some other places and must be in some top position and must be some doing some very good thing, and that's why a teacher must be remembered by those students also who has taken lessons from him. And he is, I suppose, I don't know much about him, but still what I gathered, he was one of the noble and one of the counted few persons who has contributed so many things, and I'm very proud that in our community such persons are there who are ready to handle the situation and who are ready to guide us, and this will be in fact an example for all of us that we should follow him, and we should be he is a person who can be remembered for times to come, and every person, every student must also remember, so that his fame should at least must be having students at other foreign countries also, and they must remember him, and everything what he did was for the welfare of the community, for welfare of the society, and also for the welfare of the nation. He is a true patriot. The person who says that we are not doing any patriotism, but I comment, I establish that these are the qualities which are for the patriotic work, because he has done something for the nation, and he has done something for the, when he educated some students and has given his he has parted his knowledge with other students and shared his knowledge. That means it's a very good contribution and a very good participation in the countries and other things, and schools and colleges and other things persons, and such type of person should be remembered, and his lifestyle should be copied by so many persons, and I'll remember him and I'll cherish my sweet memories for times to come, that such person are there. Thank you very much for.
Over to you, Professor Akhtarul Wasi.
मोहतरम प्रोफेसर ज़हूर मोहम्मद खान साहब, जनाबी मुफद्दल साहब, प्रोफेसर अख्तर सिद्दीकी साहब, बुज़ुर्गों, दोस्तों, ख़वातीन और हज़रात, मेरे लिए सबसे ज़्यादा खुशनसीबी की बात यह है कि मैं जामिया मिल्लिया इस्लामिया में ज़हूर मोहम्मद खान साहब का एक जूनियर कोलीग रहा हूँ, और ये बड़ा एजाज़ है, इसका एतराफ़ करने में मुझे कोई तकल्लुफ़ नहीं है, इसलिए कि ज़हूर साहब सिर्फ उस्ताद ही नहीं थे, बल्कि इस यूनिवर्सिटी के तरक्की देने में, इसको आगे बढ़ाने में और इसको एक तरह से नई बुलंदियों तक पहुंचाने में इनका बड़ा रोल रहा है। लॉ फैकल्टी जिसका तज़किरा यहाँ किया गया, वो शुरू इन्होंने की थी, हमें इस बात को नहीं भूलना चाहिए। पॉलिटिकल साइंस डिपार्टमेंट की जो अज़मत है और जो रिफ़तें उसने पाई हैं, उसमें ज़हूर मोहम्मद खान साहब का जो रोल है वो काबिल एहतराम है, उसका तज़किरा करना ज़रूरी नहीं। इसी तरह से अगर आप देखें तो ज़हूर साहब ने फैकल्टी ऑफ सोशल साइंसेस के डीन के तौर पे ही नहीं, डीन स्टूडेंट्स वेलफेयर के तौर पे नहीं, प्रॉक्टर के तौर पे नहीं, बल्कि मुख्तलिफ़ हैसियतों में यूनिवर्सिटी को एक तरह से आगे बढ़ाने में अहम रोल अदा किया है। प्रोफेसर ज़हूर मोहम्मद खान साहब का मामला ये है कि वो अमल के आदमी हैं और बुनियादी तौर पे अमली एतबार से उनकी खिदमत को देखना चाहिए। इस इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ ऑब्जेक्टिव स्टडीज़ से उनकी वाबस्तगी और इसको आगे बढ़ाने में भी उनका बड़ा रोल है। मैं मंजूर आलम साहब को यहाँ नहीं है, लेकिन उनके इस बात को नहीं भूल सकता कि उन्हें कदर जौहर जो शाह दाना दिया बदाना जौहरी वाला मामला उनकी शख्सियत का था। उन्हें शख्सियतों की पहचानने में बहुत आसानी होती थी, और ज़हूर साहब को उन्होंने इस एतबार से पहचाना और कि मैं बाकायदा तौर पे एक सेक्रेटरी जनरल बनाया इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ ऑब्जेक्टिव स्टडीज़ का, और ज़हूर साहब ने भी उसको आगे बढ़ाने में, उसके लिटरेचर में इजाफा करने में, उसको थिंक टैंक बनाने में जो मंजूर आलम साहब का साथ दिया, वो नाकाबिल फरामोश है। और मैं समझता हूँ कि ये अवार्ड जो उन्हें आज दिया गया है ये बहुत पहले मिलना चाहिए, लेकिन बुनियादी तौर पे होता ये है कि अवार्ड जो दिए जाते हैं हम सब जानते हैं, उसके लिए क्या मैं जारी बात है कि वो लोग जो कि बरसरे कार होते हैं और एक तरह से उसके जिम्मेदार होते हैं, वो अपने आप को दबा के रखते हैं, पर्दे के पीछे रखते हैं। यही मंजूर आलम साहब ने किया, यही हमारे ज़हूर मोहम्मद खान साहब ने किया। हम उनकी इन खिदमत को नहीं भुला सकते हैं और मैं उम्मीद रखता हूँ कि ज़हूर साहब की सेहत इंशाअल्लाह बेहतर रहेगी, साथ देगी और वो इसी तरह से तरक्की की तरफ बढ़ते रहेंगे और इदारों को जिनसे उनकी वाबस्तगी है उसमें इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ ऑब्जेक्टिव स्टडीज़ सबसे आगे है। मैं समझता हूँ उसको एक तरह से नई बुलंदियों तक पहुँचाने में अपना रोल अदा करेंगे। इन अल्फाज के साथ मैं एक दफ़ा फिर ज़हूर साहब को मुबारकबाद देता हूँ और साथ में इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ ऑब्जेक्टिव स्टडीज़ को एक तरह से हदिया तबरीक पेश करता हूँ कि जिसने ये सही फैसला किया और इस फैसले की जितनी तारीफ़ की जाए, तौसीफ़ की जाए, कम है। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।
Thank you, Professor Aisha. Your introduction has really humbled me. Honorable Professor Zahoor Khan Sahab, Chairperson Professor Abdul Wani, Secretary General Muhammad Alam, Chief Guest of this function, Justice Zakiullah Khan Sahab, other honored guests on the dais and off the dais, ladies and gentlemen. This evening, we have gathered here to show our respect and celebrate the worthy contributions of Professor Zahoor Khan. It is in this regard that I would like to say a few words in his honor. I have known Professor Zahoor Khan since the beginning of my tenure at Jamia Millia Islamia in 1977. As a distinguished faculty member, an erudite speaker, and a dedicated teacher activist. And teacher activists have a very important role in universities and in the society. Without that, the administration can do anything that they like. Since we belong to two different disciplines, we hardly met in common academic circles, but we did come together occasionally on teacher platforms, especially when Jamia or its teaching fraternity faced challenging situations. Later, our interactions became more frequent, which helped me further understand him as a responsible researcher and a serious thinker who had a deep concern for the educational, socio-economic, and political uplift of the community. This was the time when the visionary Dr. Manzoor Alam Sahab recognized the gem in him, as rightly said by Dr. Sahab also, and persuaded him to join hands for the common cause of the community. It has been more than a third of a century since he has been deeply involved in the progressive activities of the IOS. Until recently, he shouldered the responsibility of Secretary General of the IOS and guided its growth into one of India's most credible research organizations, whose research and publications are held in high esteem and often used in academic writings and reports. During the early years of his association with the Institute, he, along with some other like-minded academics, was instrumental in mobilizing Muslim social scientists across the country and in forming the All India Muslim Social Scientists Association from the portals of the IOS, with the sole objective of pulling together their academic strength and harnessing it for the knowledge-based empowerment of weaker sections, using it as a strong lever for their socio-political and economic development through advocating state policy interventions and community-based initiatives. I don't know much about the fate of that association, but one thing is quite clear to me, that the initiative helped in building networks with social scientists and like-minded academics and researchers who believe in the general uplift of the marginalized and deprived communities through the means of educational, political, and economic empowerment. The Institute has been able to immensely utilize their expertise under the leadership of Zahoor Khan Sahab for the larger social good. Just to give an example, long before the appointment of the famous such a committee by the then Prime Minister of India, the IUS had produced volumes of authentic research-based works under the guidance of Professor Khan on the challenging problems faced by the Indian Muslims and other weaker sections. The acknowledgement of the reliability and usefulness of these works can be gauged from a statement made by none else than Justice Rajendra Sachar, Chairman of the Sachar Committee, in the following words. I quote, "The documents used the most in the preparation of the Sachar Committee report were the research publications of Dr. Manzoor Alam's think tank IUS, of course behind the veil Zahoor Khan Shah was working. If these publications were not available, preparing the report of such a committee would have been very difficult." Now this is a great honor, great acknowledgement. I've taken this quote from A.U. Asif's recently released book on Manzoor Alam Sahab in 2025. Dr. Khan's contributions have given the IOS intellectual direction and moral depth in carrying out its academic activities and programs. He has authored and edited several books. What caught my attention was a volume titled 100 Great Muslim Leaders of the 20th Century from across the world, which he co-edited. The volume captures the exceptional struggles of outstanding leaders in the fields of politics, governance, entrepreneurship, the freedom movement, education, social reform, jurisprudence, and more. It provides fascinating details showing how these leaders, despite facing daunting challenges in their societies, worked hard with resilience, turned the tide in their favor, and emerged successful in their missions. Through this important volume, a successful attempt has been made to dispel the cliche that Muslim societies are static, fossilized, and immune to the current of change. This book is also a great source of inspiration for all those who want to engage in public welfare and social reform activities. Professor Khan continues to serve the IOS, as said, and the society at large in his present capacity as its patron. Our best wishes for his good health and a long, active life and association with IOS. I extend you, Professor Khan, my heartfelt congratulations on receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award of the IOS. Thank you.
मोहतरम जकी साहब, सदर जलसा, वानी साहब, डॉक्टर साहब, दूसरे अख्तर सिद्दीकी साहब और ज़ैडन खान साहब। मैं जब यहाँ आया था तो आपने देखा होगा कि यहाँ मंजूर आलम साहब का बोर्ड लगा हुआ था। इस वजह से मैं नहीं आ सके, यकीनन कोई ना कोई बात है। اور مجھے ان کی کرسی پر بٹھایا گیا. سب سے پہلے تو مجھے فخر ہوا کہ مجھے ان کی جگہ پر بٹھا کر اعزاز دیا گیا ایک طرح سے. یہ آبجیکٹیو اسٹڈیز جو عرصے سے کام کر رہی ہے اور ڈفرینٹ لیولز پر اس کا کام ہے, اس کے اوپر بھی اگر بولا جائے تو اتنا کم ہوگا کہ اس سے کسی کی تسلی اور تشفی شاید نہیں ہو سکے گی. آج چونکہ یہ موقع زیڈم خان صاحب کو جو لائف اچیومنٹ ایوارڈ انسٹیٹیوٹ آف آبجیکٹیو اسٹڈیز کے ذریعے سے دیا جا رہا ہے, میں اس کے لیے ان کو مبارکباد پیش کرتا ہوں. اور ساتھ ہی ساتھ آبجیکٹیو اسٹڈیز کے ذمہ داران خاص طور پر منظور صاحب اور وانی صاحب جو اس کے صدر ہیں, ان کو بھی مبارکباد دیتا ہوں اور شکریہ بھی ادا کرتا ہوں کہ ایک رائٹ چوائس ہے. زیڈم خان صاحب سے میری بہت زیادہ ملاقات نہیں ہے, لیکن آج میں بیٹھ کر یہ محسوس کر رہا تھا کہ میں کہاں کھڑا ہوں. تو مجھے خوشی ہوئی کہ زیڈم خان صاحب نے دہلی یونیورسٹی سے پولیٹیکل سائنس میں ایم اے کیا, میں بھی اسی ڈپارٹمنٹ سے ایم اے کیا. زیڈم خان صاحب نے جامعہ ملیہ اسلامیہ کے لیے جو کچھ بھی کیا وہ ہماری نظروں کے سامنے ہے, اس پر کافی تفصیلی بات ہو چکی ہے. مجھے یہ فخر ہے کہ میں جامعہ میں بھی پڑھا ہوں, اس لحاظ سے میں اپنے آپ کو ان سے کنیکٹ کرتا ہوں. آبجیکٹیو اسٹڈیز سے میرا کنیکشن بہت گہرا نہیں ہے, لیکن منظور عالم صاحب سے اس زمانے سے میرا کنیکشن ہے جب میں جرنلزم کرتا تھا اور ملی کونسل کی بنیاد انہوں نے ڈالی تھی. اس کا میں بھی ممبر تھا اور بہت زمانے تک اس کا ممبر رہا, شاید آج بھی ممبر ہوں, مجھے معلوم نہیں. میں صرف اتنا ہی کہنا چاہتا ہوں کہ یہ محفل جو آج یہاں پر ہوئی ہے وہ ایک بہت بڑے ہال میں ہونا چاہیے تھا اور بہت سارے لوگوں کو اس میں آنا چاہیے تھا. ابھی پچھلے دنوں منظور عالم صاحب کے اوپر جس کتاب کا اجرا ہوا, کانسٹیٹیوشن کلب میں یہ گننا مشکل تھا کہ کتنے لوگ آئے, کتنے پولیٹیشینز آئے, کتنے انٹلیکچوئلز آئے, اور اس کا جو کیریکٹر اپنے آپ میں نظر آیا وہاں پر وہ بھی ایسا تھا کہ جس میں ان گنت لوگ ایسے تھے جو خالی مسلمان نہیں تھے بلکہ وہ مختلف مذاہب سے تعلق رکھنے والے لوگ تھے. آصف صاحب اس کتاب کے رائٹر ہیں, بیٹھے بھی ہیں یہاں پر. اس موقع کا فائدہ اٹھاتے ہوئے میں ان کو بھی مبارکباد دیتا ہوں کہ انہوں نے اپنی زندگی میں ویسے تو بہت اچھے کام کیے ہیں, میں نے وہاں بھی ذکر کیا تھا اس کا, لیکن یہ کام انہوں نے بہت بڑا کیا ہے. اور منظور صاحب کے لیے یہ جو خراج عقیدت ایک طرح کا انہوں نے پیش کیا ہے, ان کے قد سے بہت چھوٹا ہے, لیکن پھر بھی آپ نے جو کیا ہے وہ بہت بڑا کام کیا ہے. میں ایک بار پھر خان صاحب کو مبارکباد دیتے ہوئے اپنی بات کو یہیں ختم کرتا ہوں اور شکریہ ادا کرتا ہوں جو خاتون مجھے تعارف جنہوں نے کرایا. مجھے خود بھی اب یاد نہیں تھا کہ میں کچھ کام میں نے کیے ہیں, وہ اچانک یاد آ گئے, اس لیے ان کا بھی بہت بہت شکریہ. اس لیے یہاں پر یاد رکھنے والوں کی بہت کمی ہے, اور اگر کوئی یاد رکھے تو بہت اچھا لگتا ہے. بہت بہت شکریہ.
السلام علیکم, گڈ آفٹرنون, respected chairman, respected Professor Zahoor Khan, esteemed guest, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me immense pleasure and deep sense of honor to be here today on this momentous occasion of the felicitation ceremony of the presentation of the most coveted 12th iOS Lifetime Achievement Award for sterling work and contribution towards the marginalized community groups. We gather here not just to honor an individual, but to a lifetime hard work, integrity, and vision. The recipient of this award has not only excelled in his respective field, but has also served a beacon of inspiration, guiding others through his knowledge, values, and dedication. In every success story, there is a journey filled with challenges, sacrifices, and countless moments of learning. The true measure of achievement lies not in accolades, but in positive impact one leaves on others. The present awardee today exemplifies this in every sense. This event is not merely a ceremony, it's a celebration of intellect, dedication, and relentless pursuit of knowledge. The award conferred today recognizes not just achievement, but also the spirit of inquiry, that unquenchable thirst to understand, to question, and to contribute meaningfully to the world of learning. I take this opportunity to express my heartfelt congratulations to Professor Zahoor Mohammad Khan for this well-deserved recognition. I am proud of being his student. He has been my mentor, guide, and philosopher, whose remarkable research and scholarly contributions have not only brought prestige to the institution, but have also inspired many to pursue excellence in their respective fields. Sir, your work stands shining example of how perseverance, creativity, and intellectual curiosity can come together to produce something truly outstanding. In today's rapidly changing world where information is abundant, but wisdom is scarce, the value of genuine scholarship cannot be overstated. Scholars like you reminds that the true progress is born not merely from technology or invention, but from deep thought, ethical inquiry, and passion for truth. I also take this opportunity to commend Institute of Objective Studies that have nurtured such talent. Behind every successful scholar stands a community that encourages exploration and supports the courage to think differently. As we celebrate the achievement, let us remember that the pursuit of knowledge is a lifelong journey. May the recognition serve as both reward and responsibility to continue contributing to the achievements of learning, to mentor others, and to uphold the highest ideals of academic integrity. Once again, I congratulate Professor Khan and all those associated with this noble endeavor. May your example continue to inspire the generations to come. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sister Sina Asheri. Professor Akhtar Wase Saab, Professor Mohammad Afzal Wani Saab, Janab Akhtar Siddiqui Saab, Janab Mir Afzal Saab, Janab Zakaullah Saab, and all the dignitaries, professors, and the associates of IOS and Manzoor Alam Saab. So it is a great privilege for me to read out the message of the patron and the founder of IOS. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful, respected chief guest, honorable dignitaries on the dais, distinguished members of the academic and research community, esteemed guests, colleagues, and friends, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On the auspicious eve of the 12th IOS Lifetime Achievement Award of the Institute of Objective Studies, New Delhi, it gives me immense pride and heartfelt pleasure to extend a note of reflection and felicitation to honor Professor Zahoor Khan former Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences of Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi, and a distinguished long-standing former Secretary General and patron of the Institute of Public Studies, New Delhi. His credentials, his service, his scholarship, and his abiding commitment to the values which IOS holds dear, objectivity of inquiry, inclusiveness of purpose, social justice, and empowerment of marginalized communities, make him a truly worthy choice for the award. This 12th conferment marks another milestone in our journey at IOS in recognizing those towering individuals whose lives embody the union of intellectual rigor and social commitment. In conferring this year's award to Professor Zahoor Khan, we pay homage not only to his individual achievements, but also recommit ourselves to those ideals for which IOS was founded and continues to live. IOS was established in 1986 with an aspiration to create a space for objective research-based analysis into issues affecting Indian society, especially those concerning minorities, marginalized sections, and social justice. Professor Khan joined me in 1995, not merely as a colleague, but as a co-visionary, someone who understood the magnitude of the task ahead and shared the conviction that scholarship must engage with society. His entry into the institute infused with a depth of academic experience, institutional discipline, and human warmth that would help shape IOS into the vibrant intellectual body it is today. As Secretary General of IOS for over 23 years, Professor Khan became the engine of the Institute's organizational life. If I may say so, while I served as the dreamer and the architect of IOS, he was its builder and craftsman. Together, we shared countless hours in planning, debating, and executing ideas, each of us bringing complementary strengths to the mission. My emphasis on vision and outreach found its perfect balance in his precision, meticulousness, and administrative clarity. There were times of challenge, limited resources, logistical hurdles, skepticism from peers, but Professor Khan's steadfast patience and quiet determination kept the Institute's machinery running smoothly. His dedication was unwavering, his humility constant. Our relationship over the decades grew beyond that of colleagues. It was one of mutual trust, intellectual companionship, and moral kinship. We did not always agree on everything. Indeed, our discussions were often rigorous, but our differences were always within the framework of shared commitment to the Institute's mission. Professor Khan's ability to engage critically yet constructively made him not just a team member, but a pillar of strength. Many of the Institute's programs, conferences, and publications bear the imprint of his organizational ability and intellectual discipline. The IOS research initiatives, the policy dialogues on the social justice, the seminars on pluralism and interfaith understanding, and the annual academic reports all carry traces of his careful planning and editorial guidance. For me personally, Professor Khan's presence was a source of confidence. Whenever challenges arose, be it in conceptualizing a new project, engaging with government agencies, or managing the institutional transition, I could rely on his counsel. He approached every issue with analytical clarity, and his loyalty to the institutional cause was never in question. As Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences at Jamia Millia Islamia, Professor Khan demonstrated what I have always admired more about him, his ability to combine scholarship with human friendship and leadership. He nurtured young academics, encouraged interdisciplinary research, and brought social relevance to academic discussions. His contributions to the fields of governance and social justice are noteworthy. But beyond publications and academic titles, it is his human approach to education that stands out. Professor Khan embodies the spirit of the iOS Lifetime Achievement Award because his life reflects scholarly rigor and institutional leadership, social engagement and public good and mentorship, community and inclusiveness. In reflecting on my long association with Professor Khan, I am reminded of an old saying: institutions are built not by bricks and mortar, but by people who believe. Professor Khan is one such believer. He never sought personal glory, he sought the progress of the collective. Our association, spanning more than 3 decades, has been defined by shared faith in the power of knowledge to transform society. There is something profoundly moving about a relationship that has weathered time and change, yet remained anchored in a shared mission. Together, we have seen the institute evolve from a small research group to a globally respected center of learning and dialogue. Professor Khan's fingerprints are everywhere in their archives, their publications, the policies, the memoirs, and memories. As we confer the 12th iOS Lifetime Achievement Award upon Professor Zahoor Khan, we celebrate a partnership, a philosophy, a legacy of scholarship and service. Professor Khan's life work stands as a beacon for generations to come. On behalf of the Institute of Objective Studies, I say with deep emotion and pride, thank you for your contribution, for your association, and for your enduring commitment to scholarship and society. Thank you. Just since I have been also associated with both these great personalities from the first day, from 1986, few words I would also like to say on citation with the permission of Chair. First of all, I would like to say that when I met Professor Zahoor Khan Sahab first time in his home, we had some viva has to take place, and I was very much happy to see him, and he welcomed me like anything. But when he joined iOS, I feel had he joined it 86, the institute would have reached some more heights. Although he joined the institute in 1995, but afterwards these were two persons. One was dreamer, as Professor Manzoor Alam Sahab has rightly said. Second was executioner. So it was Professor Zahoor Khan Sahab who has just tried to give a research orientation to Institute of Objective Studies. There were other people also who were very important. But this was the natural selection of Dr. Manzoor Alam, that he chose a person with such an enthusiasm. I call him activist intellectual. And sometimes I compare him with Ahmad Tatunji or Abdul Hamid Abu Sulaiman. And Manzoor Alam Sahab was just like, I should say, Ismail Raji Faruqi. But to implement the vision of Manzoor Alam, it was Professor Zahoor Mohammad Khan Sahab. And I have traveled with him to many places like Maldives and Kashmir. He used to come to Kashmir every time when we are there some program. And his introduction of iOS used to be a very special case. He would introduce iOS in a different way. And some people are just castigating in the shoot because of different reasons. But he was always saying that this iOS is a research institute. And we don't do any research institute except iOS. It has this mandate, and that is different from other institutions. And it was his vigor and his vision which has given a new shape to iOS. And I feel without Professor Mohammad Zahoor Khan, I do feel that we can have such type of vision, and also because of the I should say ailment of Dr. Manzoor Alam, sometimes I feel that we have been orphaned. But we hope that Allah will help us, and new people will come, new talent will come, because they have groomed a generation like Afzal Saab and Hasina Ji, and we have other people also, and now Mahmoud Alam and others. So we are hopeful that inshallah new generation of scholars and activists will emerge, and they will continue their mission, because this is a great mission. Although within the span of 35 years, They have achieved much. They had a great dreams, but it will take some more time to fruition the vision of these two great pillars of this institute, and we hope that institute will grow with every passing day. Thank you very much. Jazakallah.
दोस्तों, मेरा नाम कई स्पीकर्स में नहीं था, होना है, लेकिन मैंने सोचा कि ज़रीन साहब के साथ सदियों से काम करता रहा हूँ, सालों से काम करता रहा, और इस मौके से अगर हम चंद बातें न करें तो शायद मैं अपने आप को माफ़ ना कर पाऊँगा। इसीलिए बगैर किसी तैयारी के, बगैर किसी सोच के मैं इसके रिक्वेस्ट किया मैंने मैडम हसीना हाशिया साहिबा से कि मुझे भी कुछ अपने ख्यालात का इजहार करने दीजिए। दोस्तों, जैसा कि आपने अभी तक सुना है, everything has been told. What Professor Z.M. Khan deserves, what he has already worked, how academic, administration, and other aspects of his personal life have already been explained by many of the speakers before you. Before I start, let me say the Honorable Justice Zakiullah Khan's presence on this occasion as a chief guest of the Lifetime Achievement Award conferred on Professor Z.M. Khan is a matter of great pleasure and great pride for the Institute of Objective Studies as well as to us also. We have a distinguished professor, world-renowned Islamic Studies professor, and also Government of India's conferred the Padma Shri. He is one of the wonderful person, good academician. His speech is also a very good, inspiring on this occasion. Now next doctor, as Meem Sahib has also pointed out, is a distinguished professor of education. Jamia is known for education department, and such present is at this occasion the Professor Dr. Siddiqui's explanation about the work which has been carried out by Professor Z.M. Khan Sahib has really inspired, and we came to know how much he has devoted to the academics, administration, and other things. Professor Meem Afzal, Professor Furqan Ahmed, and also I acknowledge the presence of the members of the Z.M. Khan's family who are present here, and guests who are coming from Kashmir, Rafiawadi Sahab, and other guests. The former principal of Polytechnic, Mr. Mumtaz, Dr. Mumtaz, Professor Musa from Jawaharlal Nehru University, and Professor Afzal Wani, the president of this prestigious institute. As I told you that I do not want to take much of your time, but two things I will point out here, which certainly you will feel that what a personality Professor Khan has. During late 70s and early 80s, Jamia Millia was struggling to get the status of Central University. At that time, Jamal Kidwai was the Vice Chancellor. He has chosen a few persons, or he has made a group of people who could try or who could manage this show. Among this brigade, which was carried out under the leadership of A.J. Kidwai, Professor Khan was one of the very strong, powerful persons in that group. You would be happy to know that. With his sincere effort in that group, Jamia Millia Islamia not only got the central status, but also two very important things. One is that mass communication center in Jamia. The center is not only known in India, but it is across the world. This is his one of the contributions, great contributions. Secondly, he was also leader in that group to get Jamia Millia Islamia the faculty of engineering. Because of faculty of engineering and because of the mass communication research center, the Jamia Millia Islamia not only known in India, it was known across the world. Even before that, it was not known even outside of Jamia Nagar. But because of his efforts in that group, he made Jamia Millia Islamia not only the national but also international academic institute where all persons who wanted to join a university where he can get a good education and a standard education, and they can be good citizens of India also. After looking at the quality of Professor Z.M. Khan, the Vice Chancellor thought why not he should give another responsibility which will be a great help to the students as well as to the people of the country. And so what he has done, he has asked him or requested him to start or to establish the faculty of law. The faculty of law he has not only established, he has nurtured in such a way that it has got a ranking in India. And I acknowledge, or the people know, that because of faculty of law, faculty of engineering, and this mass communication center, the university excelled. And it is known everywhere in India as well as outside of the country. Friends, आज जो भी जामिया को जानते हैं, क्या जामिया the contributions of Professor Khan क्या भूल जाएगी? No, not at all. हम भूलने नहीं देंगे. In this regard, he's a student. There are many students of political science department sitting in the hall. Pahli humble request to Professor Furqan Sahab. Why not he should initiate a chair of Professor Khan in the Department of Political Science. And we are with you, Professor Furqan, as well as the friends of Professor Khan, as well as his student, your colleague. We all will strive to get this work done from the university, because his contribution cannot be forgotten in Jamia Millia Islamia. So on this occasion, I request you, and I also request the Institute of Objective Studies to make it possible
to try for the chair in the Department of Political Science on his name, that is Professor Z.M. Khan, Professor Chair. सर, जाने से पहले मैं आपके खिदमत में एक छोटा सा तोहफा लाया हूँ, वह आपको देना चाहता हूँ, और मैं आपके अच्छी सेहत के लिए, अच्छी ज़िंदगी के लिए आपके अल्लाह ताला से ये दुआ करता हूँ, जुग जुग जिएं, हमेशा खुश रहें, और जब भी कोई ज़रूरत हो आइए सर, हम लोग आपके साथ खड़े हैं सर।
So what a proud moment for all of us, and Assalamu alaikum to all the dignitaries of and on the stage. The first thing I would like to just say that it has been a wonderful day for us, all of us as a family, and Mustaqil I was thanking God कि हमें ये दिन देखने को मिला, और we are so proud to be daughters and children of our father. It's a very privileged and very honored day for all of us, and for this I would like to thank Manzoor sir and the whole iOS community for it, क्योंकि हम तो जब से बचपन से पैदा हुए हमने डैडी को iOS में भी देखा, ठीक है। तो और अभी आप लोगों ने like you all have heard a lot about daddy as an academician, as a mentor, and what not, we are so proud. But as a father also, we thought कि सिर्फ हम ही को mentor कर रहे हैं, but now I came to know daddy तो बहुत लोगों को mentor किए हुए हैं, and the whole communities have been done like that. So मैं ज़्यादा टाइम तो नहीं लूँगी, बट हमारे फैमिली में जो था कुछ हमें रूल्स बचपन से ही सिखा दिए गए थे, जो कहा जाता है कि घुट्टी में मिला दिए जाते हैं। तो फर्स्ट रूल वाज दैट अल्लाह इज़ वॉचिंग not only your actions but also your intentions, and second is that किसी से ना जुल्म करना है ना जुल्म सहना है। थर्ड इज़ दैट हम लोग को एजुकेशन की बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस बताई गई, टू दैट एक्सटेंट दैट आई स्टिल रिमेंबर, और ये आदत मेरी आज तक है कि हम लोग सब बच्चों को फजर के वक्त उठा दिया जाता था, और फजर के बाद हम लोग को स्कूल जाने से पहले 2 घंटा पढ़ाई करनी पड़ती थी, एंड देन वी यूज्ड टू गो टू आवर स्कूल्स. So this has been a very good tradition of our family, and education and family values have been the most the backbone of our family thing. And alhamdulillah, the thing is that we have transferred these values in our next generation also, and I'm so proud of our kids in the home, that they all are doing mashallah alhamdulillah well. They all have touched Harvard and all those things, so I'm very happy that for today's day, and I will not be talking much because there will be a lot which I can say, but my eldest sister who is in Jeddah right now, and on behalf of all the siblings, she has sent a message to all of you, so I would just like to play that message from her side, and it is like from all the siblings from our side. So just a second, I'll just open that, and then I think I'll just play it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. I am honored to be here to talk about a person who is very dear to me, my father, Dr. Z.M. Khan. Both my parents have very consciously provided my siblings and me their love and support. They always told us to dream big and work hard to achieve those dreams while taking care to walk on the right, straight path. What made this lesson truly memorable was that it was not taught through preaching, but instead by actions. Unfortunately, my mother departed from this world very early. Being a father is about more than being a provider or an authority figure. It is about being present, involved, and nurturing. And my dad has done all that and more. I remember when I was a very young and frightened by recurring nightmares, I used to routinely wake him up, and he never failed to comfort me and sit by my side till I fell asleep again. He has been emotionally available, supportive, and engaged in a manner that is uncommon among men of his generation. My grandparents departed quite early, and since grandparents are often storytellers, my daddy did his best to fulfill that role in our lives as well. Story time with daddy is a treasured memory that my siblings and I fondly look back on even today. In fact, during exams, when most parents insist on regimented study periods, daddy insisted we needed meaningful breaks after spending all week studying, and so our Sundays involved watching a movie as a family. In many ways, daddy has been my source of inspiration. He was one of my first mentors and has worked tirelessly to help me and my siblings to grow into confident, compassionate, and responsible individuals. I distinctly recall that once when I was in 9th grade, I told him about an impending debate competition. He encouraged me to participate and coached me through the entire process. My endless practices with him instilled a discipline and confidence within me that enabled me not only to win multiple school competitions, but also to gain a permanent ability to confidently speak my mind in a variety of settings. Daddy took great care in teaching all his children, girls and boys, the importance of financial independence. He did not differentiate on the basis of gender. On a related note, I have also learned to inculcate a sense of justice in my everyday life from my daddy. When I was offered a scholarship to an elite private school as a child, my parents decided to turn it down because it would not be fair to my siblings to not be afforded a similar opportunity. Still, my daddy did his best to provide my siblings and me with every advantage he could. He personally taught us English at home and encouraged us to walk into unfamiliar settings with our heads held high. In particular, up till BA, my education was in Jamia. But for my MA, Daddy encouraged me to go to Delhi University. That experience has shaped me into a confident and outspoken woman who has instilled similar values in the next generation. Daddy inspired me to read Allama Iqbal and Maulana Abul Kalam Azad's Tarjuman al-Quran's first edition, which is an interpretation of Surah Fatiha. These readings have impacted my life to a great extent. My daddy has not only taken care of his children but has participated actively in the upbringing of his grandchildren as well. My kids' education was mainly done in India, and all 4 of my children are now leading successful lives in the United States, alhamdulillah. Daddy has been instrumental in their journeys. We were living in Jeddah and I was working as a vice principal in International Indian School, Jeddah. It is a school having a strength of more than 10,000 students. While I wanted my children to be educated in Delhi, I was reluctant to leave my job. Daddy inquired about my reluctance. I told him that I have made it a mission to take my school to the highest level of excellence and do not want to abandon it. He reminded me that Allah will not ask me about those 10,000 children. He will ask me what I did for my own children. That day, I decided to leave my job and come back to India for their sake. And today I am extremely satisfied that I took that decision because I know that it deeply impacted my children. They are not only very highly educated and excellent professionals, but are able to hold and practice their Islamic and family values even in the Western world. Alhamdulillah. तालीम के साथ अच्छी तरबियत can make good humans and good Muslims too. Ladies and gentlemen, I can narrate innumerable more instances, but time is limited. Today, I am grateful to Institute of Objective Studies for their recognition of my father's efforts towards our community and society. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and I would like to add a little more thing that my two sisters here, Professor Nahid Zahoor and Professor Nusrat Zahoor, they are still here and still continuing to serve Jamia in a great way, in their own way. And all our kids are obviously abroad, and there's in Australia, in US and all. So the thing is that I just would like to thank my parents and to हमारे अंदर जो एक दीन और दुनिया का एक जो balance है, I am very proud of that balance between all of us, and I really thank Dad for this. Thank you, Dad.
Rahim, आवाज़ ज़रा धीमी होगी, bear with me. मोहतरम जस्टिस ज़कीरुल्लाह खान साहब, अख्तर वासे साहब, मीम अफजल साहब, प्रोफेसर वानी, प्रोफेसर एम अख्तर सिद्दीकी साहब और दीगर अहबाब। उर्दू में मुझे मुश्किल होता है, अंग्रेज़ी में मैं ठीक बोल लेता हूँ, मेरा ख्याल है, मगर मैंने सोचा ये कि मैं उर्दू में ही बोलूँ तो बेहतर है, क्योंकि कम बोलना चाहता हूँ। जितनी बातें आपके सामने आई हैं, ओके, इंस्ट्रक्शंस आते हैं, I am not allowed to speak in Urdu, hence I will speak in English. Actually, the whole story, details have gone to you, but if you take things in a categorized fashion, in a classified fashion, then I think I have got two sets. One set is of values and another set is of strategies. Values are clear to me that God Almighty exists. This is first value. I believe in it. If someone asks me that you tell us only one truth of your life, I will swear and say that God exists in His capacity as the Almighty or gracious or merciful. Everybody will say, what are you saying? This is believed by everybody. But I'm sorry to say, everybody does not believe like that. You will have to inquire into, you will have to go into it and then to assess yourself whether really it is true or there is some sort of doubt somewhere. I can say after a long struggle, this conviction has come up, and this conviction actually is the highest prize to me, highest prize thing to me. Another thing is that believing in God and pleasing Almighty, these are two different things. If you want to please Almighty, then you will have to serve the humanity, you will have to serve the creation, and you will have to develop the Islamic worldview. What is Islamic worldview? It is a very decent plan of explaining relationships. First set of things is relationship of man with Almighty Himself. Second is relationship with other human beings. And third is relationship of man with other creation except man. The first category is of submitting yourself to Almighty without question, without any doubt. When you bow your head, then you are submitting yourself to Him. Second is your relationship with your other fellow beings. This is of equality. Islam has given you the wonderful dictum that universal brotherhood. That is not simply a saying, it is actually believing in it. And if you look into the whole dynamics of situations, then you will find that most of the problems emerge out of this very idea, whether we are equal to each other or not. And I think every man will fundamentally be tested by Almighty on this at the Day of Judgment. Did you really do it? Could you believe it? Could you practice it? And then I think that will be a difficult question. Third is that you are given all authority to use or utilize other things which are there, but you are a trustee. You are not an owner of it. Trustee means you have got a lot of responsibility. You should not waste water even in your performing ibadah, wuzu. If you are doing wuzu, you should restrict yourself in utilizing water because you are a trustee of this thing. So this relationship actually is a very fundamental thing. And in this relationship, the foremost thing that emerges is the relationship of man with man. And there comes the amount and element of serving the others. Those who serve the others, Almighty serves them. He serves them and everything is looked after by Him. One of my spiritual gurus told me that try to be honest even in most simple and small things. चवन्नी की भी बेईमानी मत करो। 1 लाख रुपए की बेईमानी भी बेईमानी है और 4 आने की बेईमानी भी बेईमानी है। So be careful not to do any immoral thing even in the smallest thing. That is the test. Because one is really not very particular in doing all these kind of things. So serving the humanity is a very important area. How to serve? You do it according to your capacity and your chart of duties. In chart of duties, the first and foremost thing is your family. Family is first. Then you go down into the list and you will find one after another. You need not to ask anybody. It will come automatically to you. So, Islam has given you this kind of worldview to look at things. Now, this worldview has to be stringent because man is highly fickle kind of a thing, fickle-minded, changes very frequently, very fast. How to become a steadfast? When you become a steadfast, you need some anchor. Then you connect yourself to Almighty, and that is the anchor. You have got it. Ibadah now comes in. You do your ibadah, and ibadah will strengthen your connection with Almighty. That will provide an anchor to you to become a more successful person, nearer to God, to be capable to serve the humanity at large. In that situation, you have to select which section you want to serve. We people selected, fortunately, in the company of Dr. Zahoor Mohammad we very consciously decided to search out the marginalized sections of society. And in those we found that Muslims are the most marginalized section of society. So under that definition, Muslims come. We are not doing it as a prejudice. We are not doing it specifically for Muslims. We have done lot more things for Dalits also, for small artisans also, for Adivasis also. So, if you are clear in your thought, then Almighty helps you out. And that help will enable you in terms of mustering more support from people, and you have to have more resources to complete your assignment. So this worldview has to be, I should stop. Chairman has permitted me to continue, so I follow him. आजाब सवाल उनकी गर्दन पे जाएगा.
Then you have to break for the prayer also. It's not that you will only listen it.
We will do it.
You have to break them and then start it at 6.
Okay, I get you. I was telling you in a very light moment, very light stream. So, this is how the whole thing happens. I joined, and you know, I owe many things to many people. I would like to mention my wife, Shakil Zedi, has really done a tremendous job in terms of keeping me in a good, healthy position. She has taken care of me in a very, very meticulous fashion, and whatever I am looking today, it is mostly because of her efforts. I am thankful to her, and I pray for her well-being in future as well. So, other things, you know, you have known, I have lived with you all throughout my life. So there is nothing very specific to tell you. You know much more about me than myself. As Ishtaq Sahib has pointed out many things that I forgot really. I didn't know what I did at that time. But when he told me specifically this, I could remember, yeah, this is correct. And so, but I can tell you one thing very seriously and sincerely, that institutions have also played very important role in my life. Jamia Millia is a very, very dear institution to me. Institute of Objective Studies and another. Jawaharlal Nehru University is another. All these universities and organizations have really contributed a lot to my thought and action. I pray for the well-being of every one of them, and I pray for everyone who is present here. I am still not very well, as you can understand, so I would stop here, and I again thank very much. I express my profound gratitude to Institute of Objective Studies for conferring this award to me. I am really thankful to every one of you. Thank you very much.
Prominent legislator Meem Afzal and Faisal, Professor Zahoor Khan, very, very dear members of the journalist community, professors and the family members of Professor Khan. It's a great occasion and great only because this is an award ceremony. One of the most difficult tasks which I have found in my long career for anybody has been to appreciate the work done by another person with sincerity and appreciate it to the core of the heart that another person is contributing and it needs to be appreciated, and this is truly human. This is truly if you show allegiance to Almighty. Otherwise, human beings generally, they are self-centered, they are self-motivated, have their own incentives, and then go ahead truly individually, though they are in the group of human beings. So, award is itself something which reminds the people that you are human. You must appreciate. And then award is something symbolic. Symbolic is in the sense that what appreciable has been done, what is required, and then to trace out what more has to be done, what is awardable, what is appreciable. I think then it's all right and well. When somebody is getting a Nobel Prize for peace, it's a reminder to the humanity that peace is something very important. And people should contribute towards the development of peace in the society. India and among us the Muslim community, many legislators may have so far been in the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. But could there be a prize, could there be an award instituted to appreciate the contribution of the legislators in the parliament who have been from a particular community and doing that?
Yes, there is.
In the same way, in academics, if there can be any that kind of award to appreciate and act as an incentive in the lawyers community, in the judges community, in the social activists community, in those who have been entrepreneurial at different levels, I believe that has to be understood and initiated in different ways, and truly those people who are not known are those things which are not being truly appreciated. They have to be followed and got ahead. Now coming to this iOS Achievement Award, the first one to get was Honorable Chief Justice of India, former Ahmadi, Aziz Mubashir Ahmadi, who had been a judge and then got elevated to the higher judiciary and to the position of the Chief Justice of India. So, the Institute of Objective Studies, it is not an NGO for campaigning on the roads. It is not a political party. It is not an entrepreneurship agency to promote the industries and factories to be developed. It is to write human beings. It writes books, it writes papers, it writes programs, it writes humans. Because it is an institution for the development of thought. A community is what its thought is. A nation is what its thought is. And therefore, this is prime. This is connected with hikmah. Allah says, my youth al-hikmah, faqad utiya khayran kaseera. If I given thought, wisdom, then it is enough. So, iOS is enjoying a prime position in that. Beyond industry, beyond campaigns, beyond other things, they are important in their own way. But the most important thing is the development of thought, is shaping the thought, is developing the understanding of the things and giving a narrative to that understanding. That's very important. And that's what we have been saying about iOS, that it should be understood in the same way, that this is an organization to nourish the thought, basic thought, understanding. And that's how it goes by collection of the ideas, creation of the ideas, analysis of the ideas, evaluation of the ideas, and then deciding what more to be done. That's what iOS can do. Now, if we put it in that context, there have been very good contributors to thought in this country in different ways, and one of them is Professor Zahoor Mohammad Khan, and we appreciated it that he has been one of the persons who has been contributing to the development, to understanding the society, to understanding the requirements of the society, and then to give them a shape by writing different concept notes for various conferences, programs, and books and other things. And that's how it has been a very good contribution in that way. And he is getting this award primarily for this reason, that he has the capacity of concretizing a thought. He has a capacity to project a thought. He has a capacity to advance the thought. And that's what I would say, that this iOS award to Professor Zahoor Mohammad Khan is not just an award to him, it is having a symbolic value that we need many, many more political scientists at least from this country. We have political science being one of the very important streams of knowledge, understanding, and thought. And I may very confidently assert that we lack political scientists, truly political scientists today. When I look to Kerala, to Kashmir, to this Manipur, to Rajasthan, and all these sites, I am many times in search of a political scientist with the depth of the depths of knowledge, understanding the things, and then ability to create some thought, develop it. And more so if in Quranic context, truly, then there is a disappointment. I think that the award ceremonies have to be taken in that line of thinking and understanding, that how many people get inspired by this thing. The award is just ₹1 lakh, and that's generally given back to the institute to give to the scholars for doing more research. No, it's a recognition. And then I think that these awards have been given to sociologists, like there are so many, they can be named, and they have been associated with this institute, but the purpose will be served only when there is another crop of wise social scientists available, so that they can carry it forward. They can honestly carry forward the legacy. See, anything can be destroyed, but thought cannot be destroyed. You must have heard that there is something, there are some lawyers are still, there is something we say the basic structure of the Constitution. When Naini Palkiwala was advocating in Keshwanand Bharati case that whether the Constitution or preamble and this thing can be amended or not, then he found there is a provision to amend the Constitution. And it can be amended. And amendment means repeal, modify, change. Then what can save the Constitution? Hats off to Naini Palkiwala when he started a reverse gear thinking, and he said, we know, every lawyer, every judge is telling me what amendment means, but I must tell them what amendment does not mean. And what was his finding was, amendment can mean repeal, change, modify, but amendment cannot mean destroy. That is the point. That is the thought. And all the judges of the Supreme Court, they could not overcome that hurdle, that word, that thought, and therefore they established the doctrine of the basic structure. Everything can be changed, repealed or whatever, but you cannot change the basic structure. You cannot destroy the basis of the Constitution. Dear friends, if Constitution of India has given a political setup, a political understanding, a political basis, where are the political scientists of the country who would say that you are compromising the basic political policy, political structure and constitutional foundations of the polity of India? I think we need the political scientists of that caliber, that understanding, that zeal, that gesture, and that kind of stature, who can say at the cost of their life that you can do this thing, but you cannot do this thing. This is the basic thing. So, dear friends, what an award means is not mere ceremony, a declaration, or a mere appreciation of ordinary things. It has to be taken very seriously. I believe next to godliness is scholarship, true scholarship. And that true scholarship where your thought is dear to you as your life is dear to you. Your commitment is dear to you. And your existence is dear to you. Then only a person sitting somewhere under a tree is more important than a parliament, than an institution, than a university, than a college, or than any other kind of foundation. One person is more important than that. That everything can follow that. I believe that the thought on which the IOS is based is the same thought, but we are living in a setup. We are living in a particular kind of environment, but the purity of thought is that we are Almighty, the word of Almighty, and then the practice of what Almighty said in the forum of Sirah. That's a word of guidance for us. And then, like Professor Zahoor Khan, he has taken inspiration from the word of Allah, from the existence of Allah, and then he could balance the things between the dealings with the family and dealings with the institutions and dealings with the people. And that's how He contributed to the development of Jamia Millia Islamia as a good institution, and then not thinking that he will get an award someday. It's the commitment. It is that real nature where one puts himself into it. And that's, I may say, by the way, when I was at the age of 17 or 18, I established a small thing, Darul Quran, in my village. And that's my cherished achievements, I always feel, though I served the different institutions from Kashmir University, AMU, and then Indian Law Institute, Law Commission, and IP University, and IILM, and others. But I feel that establishment of a small, that kind of Darul Quran, where at the age of 17 or 18, I delivered my first lecture of my life on Nurul Mubin. I don't remember what I said, and then I don't know if I was knowing anything at that time. But the question is that with that sincerity of merely pleasing Almighty, I do it. That's the spirit of it. So, Professor Khan, he did it, as he said even this time, that he had always in his mind that there is Almighty Allah. You have to believe that He is our caretaker. He will not allow anybody to take away my life till He Himself wants. You have to have the belief. You have to express yourself in that way. You have to understand yourself in that way. I have to do it. And that's how I would say that this award to Professor Khan is just a kind of gesture to remind the social scientist community of this country that please get to your task and then get into the precedents in your own subjects, right from Socrates and afterwards to many Muslim thinkers, and understand the pulse of the people and pulse of the situation today, and then come out with good academic work, research work, thoughtful work, and then get associated with the Institute of Objective Studies and contribute it through the platform of IOS to the thought of the community and all that. That's how I would take it. And then if I count it, that Professor Khan has his own thoughts, as I have known, about the behavior of the community, then behavior of the people, then values of the constitution, integrativeness, then empowerment, and all that. And those are very valuable thoughts which we should carry forward, especially his students and grand students. They should do research on them, and that's how his writings and other things. And as I was proposing that we should have a conference on the contribution of Justice Ahmadi to the jurisprudence of India and how he has contributed to it. I believe that most of the lawyers will join in that. They will actively participate in, and someday we may have a conference on the thought of Zadem Khan Sahib, and then many people in the country, they will look into his writings and his other contributions, and we can come out with a volume on him, and that's how we can go with these things. So dear friends, this time we are very lucky enough to have Professor Zadem Khan with us, and we wish him a long life, and we wish that we keep getting his guidance for a long time, and we shape the future of Institute of Objective Studies for the betterment of humanity in general and the betterment of the underprivileged people and the marginalized people, and especially the Muslims of the country. And I'll again say, political thought is very important. Political strategies are very important. I have no time to explain when he delivered a lecture some 10 years before on the strategies which one should understand how strategies are working against the interest of the underprivileged minorities and others. I don't think that kind of work is being done that way by the scholars in different universities. So that's how we have to go to it and see. That's how we find that people are, persons are very important. Allah is very much valuing the person. And if you will find in the Holy Quran itself how Allah is giving examples of various persons, what they said, how they did, and how it had the impact. That's how we have to value another person. We have to learn to value another person and the thought, and then get to the things in the best of the way for our own benefit. Then there was only one thing that we had shaped the program at 3:30, and then I believe that it should have been planned in a way so that the prayer time was not coming in between, but the prayer time came there, and all of you are very praying timely, and that's how this kind of thing should be taken. I asked the office people to take care of it, that programs are shaped somewhere, or they arrange a break for the prayer. Otherwise, we are getting, sometimes away from this, prayer time, Maghrib prayer time that may come now close to the end of it, and that care should be taken by the office people in future. So, dear friends, with all that, let us together give a great congratulations, standing ovation to Professor Zahoor Khan on getting this award, and